Yeah.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
What's up with all my Akronites, man? Thank you for tuning into the Red Zone right here on Akron's home for nonprofit radio, 96.3 WMVU. You're listening to Positive Transitioning Radio's Wesleyan Wednesday, where we sit down and we have a cross-cultural debate discussing our beliefs, our faith, and we communicate as brothers from a place of loyalty, love, and respect for one another on our individual quest for knowledge. As you all know, I'm your host, and once again, per listener request, and once again returning to the Red Zone and making his 96.3 WMVU debut is our good friend, brother in faith, and Amir, overseeing the duties and responsibilities of guiding the less enlightened Muslim brothers here at TOCI. Ayub Abdul, affectionately known by me and me alone as Aki. Introduce yourself, Aki.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah, and thank for everybody don't know what that means. It means thank you, and may the peace of Allah be with you all, and thank you for listening. I am Ayub Abdul Fawad, the Amir here.
So today we have, today is 7/14/21, which I thought was a really interesting date. It's kind of a big deal. Today's kind of an important day. It's kind of like so it's our first Wesleyan Wednesday on WMVU 96.3, Akron's finest nonprofit radio. And we're also releasing our we're making our official merchandise launch. So for all of our Red Zone listeners and all of our fans in Akron, Ohio, 96.3 WMVU, all of our fans listening on the iHeartRadio app, and all of our fans following us on social media, you can go and check out our social media page, my social media page, at The Real LO, THERREALEL_O. That's The Real LO with 2 R's. You know why. And we're going to have all of our merchandise posted. So we have T-shirts, hoodies, pillows, cups, all with our Positive Transitioning logo, all with our Red Zone logo, all individually put together, drawn up, produced completely by our right-hand man here at the show, Tattoo. He's responsible for all the work, his signatures on everything, and we even have the option for put your name on the back. We got nicknames. You know, everybody in the Red Zone gets a nickname, so you can get your nickname put on the shirt. You can make a donation to the show. You can help us pay for it. You know, we don't do it for profit, right? Financial profit. We do it for Portia profit. She's what we're here for. She's why we're able to do what we do, and so anything that we do it for her. So we love you, Porsche, here in the Red Zone. We love Positive Transitioning. Positive Transitioning loves us, and we love WMVU. So merchandise, guys, check it out. Coffee cups, pillows, T-shirts, hoodies, front and back, Red Zone on the front, Positive Transitioning on the back, nicknames. We've got, if you want to do shoulder insignias, Porsche, you can get a hold of Porsche, send her a DM on her Positive Transitioning page. Let her know. She'll have you ship your shirt to the P.O. box, the Positive Transitioning P.O. box, and she will adorn the sleeve with all of the individual different things, all the different rankings, all the different things. So, you know, everything has its own meaning, right? We're real big on symbology here in the Red Zone, and we, you know, take pride in what we do. We like what we do. We care about what we do, and we wear what we wear with pride. So everything that we do has a reason. We pick it for a reason. And, that's why we do what we do. So 7/14/21, don't ever forget it. 3 sevens right in a row, 777. So getting started. So it's Wesleyan Wednesday here on WMVU 96.3. So today we're going to be discussing, for those of you who have your Bibles with us, go ahead and turn with me to Exodus chapter 3.
Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. And so what we're discussing, so this is Moses. So we're discussing Moses. And this is like very early this is like burning bush, right? So this is like This is God talking to Moses, right? This is when he came and visited him. And I'll go ahead and just read straight from. Then Moses said to God, this is verse 13. Then Moses said to God, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you. Moreover, God said to Moses, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
This is my name forever, right? And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be talking about what it is to be, what it is to mean, and what that, I am who I am, right? And what is he saying, right? So before we start to process, and we dig too deep into it, right, I want to discuss a little bit of the origin of the language and more specifically the culture of the people who were responsible for recording this text. And the question, who? Right? So when they ask who sent you, they're asking the title, the name, the identity, right, which is equatable to their reputation. And whereas the question what inquires into the person's, the entity, the character, the quality, or the essence, right? So his vibe. So if they say who, they're asking for your reputation. And if they say what, they're asking for your character or your vibe. Right? So chapter 3, verse 14 says, I am who I am, right? And this name for God points to his self-existence and his eternality, right? And so one of the things that, Aki, this is my been on a part of my journey is learning Arabic and specifically Aramaic is because of I want to be able to understand it the way that it was written, right? I want to understand the language of the people who recorded it because the nuances and the different, it's just all very important, bro. It very much matters. It very much matters to be able to read it exactly how it was written. That's important to me. And that's one of my, I don't want to say favorite, because I don't really think favorite's not really the right, but it's something that I respect deeply about the fact that the Quran has survived the way that it has. And I think that that's part of the purity, right? So of the way that it's survived and the way that it's remained intact and it's remained solid in one piece, and there hasn't been, because the Bible's got the Dead Sea Scrolls and the first four, right, the Torah, and it's it's just it's the division bothers me. It's not, I understand it, I get why, I understand Jews and so when it comes to Christianity, I feel like Christianity is so new and so fresh. When it comes to the sovereignty and the respect and the reverence that Islam deserves, you have to take it back to Judaism. Judaism would be the equivalent, right? So if I wasn't a Christian, if Christianity wasn't an option, I feel like I would fall under the category of believing in what the Jews believe, right? Believing in the Old Testament, believing in, the coming of the prophets that they talk about.
And may be recorded
right?
and monitored.
So, this name for God, right, this is the God of Abraham, right, which essentially is still the same God. We're still talking about, so when I get my Quran, when I get the Quran out, right, and I look at what the Quran, so that's what the Bible says, right? So then we switch, okay, right. Boom, we come over here, and we have
Make sure you let the people know the name of the surah and the ayat, in case those who don't know. A surah is chapter in Aramaic or Quran, and ayat is the verse.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And those for you that don't know, when one opens the Quran, while he's looking for what he's looking for, those who open the Quran, any believer of Islam would say, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim." And that is saying, Allah, please protect me from the cursed Satan. And that is the proper way to open the Quran. But if you're in a higher state of spirituality, one that is a believer, mu'min, one would kiss the Quran 3 times, open it, then say that. But go ahead, Elo. I just wanted to get that out there for those who didn't know.
So, yeah, right, no, absolutely. So this is a part of the 6 aspects, or the articles of belief. And it's number 4, and it's the belief in the prophets. Okay, and so these prophets include, so these are the people that the Quran or the Islamic faith acknowledges as prophets, as leaders, so we start as early as Adam, Noah, Abraham, David, Joseph, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. Their mission was to return people to worship of the one true God. Right, so all of these people, right, Adam, Noah, Abraham, David, Joseph, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, all, according to the Islamic faith, were walked to the earth, right, as men, as mortal men, right, given a soul, given with the ability to walk the earth, to serve the God discussed in Exodus chapter 3, verses 13. Right? This is the I am. This is who we're talking about. This is the, so just so we're on the same page, everybody's all caught like we are at this point, we're still talking about the same person. We're still talking about the same God, the one God above all, because Christians believe there's one God. It's the 10 Commandments, right? It's the 10 Commandments that say, you are to have no other God before me. Right? You're not to worship, you're not to covet, you're not to, none of that. Like it's very clear. It's very concise. There's no dispute. There's no wondering. There's none of that. There's one, and it is I am. Right? So this name for God points to his self-existence and his eternality. Right? It denotes that I am the one is and will be, which is decidedly the best and the most contextually suitable option from a number of theories about its meaning and etymological source, right? So the significance in relation to God of your fathers is a...
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So when he makes the statement and he comes to the children and he says, the significance in relation to the God of your fathers,
Ohio
right?
Correctional Facility,
and
may be recorded and monitored.
So when he says the God of your fathers, that is immediately discernible. There is absolutely no question. There is no dispute. There is no wondering. They know exactly who he's talking about, right? Because of course you know who the God of your father is, right? That's the God that your father taught you to, you know what I mean? Like that's who taught you everything that you know. The man who is responsible for everything, good, bad, or otherwise, that you know. His God sent me to you, right? That's what Moses is saying. So it's the same God throughout the ages, period. The consonants from the Hebrew word Yahweh, YHWH, right? Are combined with the vowels from the divine name Adonai, right, which is master or Lord in the Jewish text, right? So they took the vowels from Adonai and they took the Hebrew word Yahweh, YHWH, right, and it gave rise to the name Jehovah in English. So since the name Yahweh was considered so sacred, right? It was considered like that's not to be, people don't just get to say that, right? Like you don't just get to walk around and just, because that name has power, right? Things happen when you start walking around saying that name. Because people recognize, the world recognizes because every single thing on this planet exists as a direct result of the words that came out of Yahweh's mouth, period. He said, and it was, period. There's no wondering, there's no waiting, there's no, period. Let there be light,
Right.
and there was, period. So people don't just get to walk around and say that, right? Because they understood that that's not a joke. It's not to be toyed with, it's not a game, and it's only to be handled with the utmost respect, right? And so they decided that it should not be pronounced, right? And so this is, now we're talking about the Masoretes, who were the people who felt like they were linguists, right? Linguists, like just felt like when you're the only person who knows how to speak, it's up to you how we teach the next generation to speak, right? That's an enormous responsibility, right? You have an enormous obligation, responsibility to the youth to decide what they know, because everything that they know or don't know is a direct result of what you taught or did not, or you failed to teach. So they inserted the vowel from Adonai to remind themselves to pronounce it when they were reading it instead of saying Yahweh. Technically, this combination of consonants is known as the tetragrammation, Tetra.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Maton, right? So before I tell you the rock, talk to me a little bit about drawing the line, right? Or limits, right? Because I don't think that it's a coincidence that Ishmael's mother, while she was petty, right? We've acknowledged that she was petty. Last week we talked about babies' moms, right? You remember the conversation about babies' moms and wives and the friction that takes place, right? Mm-hmm. So while she was petty, right, she refused to ever stray from the concept of one, right, of one true God, right? Just by changing the way, because see, when I look at Yahweh,
this call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And if you look at it written in Hebrew, like if you look at the word Yahweh written in Hebrew, and you look at the way that Allah is written in Islam, it's very close. Like it looks, sounds like it's close. Like, and I'm learning I'm going through and I'm diligent. Like, I'm diligent in my alif, da, ta, da, jim, ha, ta, dal, daho, right? Ra, zain, sin,
right.
shin, sab, dab, pa, daha, an, gan, fa, kaf, kaf, lam, me'im, nu'im, ha, dal, ya, right? So I know what I'm in it. Like, I'm paying attention, I'm watching it, I'm looking at it, I'm learning it, right? I can write it, I can say it, I can look at it. It's close, bro. It's close. And it's a little bit too close. Like, it's just too close, bro. It's just too close. So do you think that there's like, do you think that there's any, like, so where do you draw, like, exactly what I said. Talk to me about where you draw the line. Where do you draw the line, or where do you limit, or how do you, like, what does it mean to you? What is it, like, where do you take away from that? Exodus 3:13 and 14. I am who I am. Who is the Bible talking about? Who is the Quran talking about? And where do we separate?
Right. I understand exactly what you're saying. And it's my Hassan Ayub. Just so you know, that is, my name is Ayub again, in case those who forgot. First off, I want to say how you said right. You know, I'm your little brother. I got to. But no, what I want to say is I want to comment where you said I say it is and it is done. And Islam, that would be consistent of those. I don't know if there's any Muslims that are listening, or if there is, alhamdulillah. Surah al-Ikhlas. And those who know how to make a 2 or 4 rakat or a 3 rakat salat would use that, and that is basically what that is referring to. And for those who may be interested in what it hears like, it sounds like, I'm going to recite it, and then I'm going to basically break it down. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد لم يولد لم يكن له كفوا أحد. That is just basically saying
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That is basically saying that I am one God only. Neither does sleep nor hunger affect me.
And your God is one God. There is no God but He, the most gracious and most merciful. That's what you just said, right?
Right. And in other words, too, it would be down into.
Can I get a little bit of Can I get a little bit like respect about? Thank you.
Right. And those who are interested, that means there is no deity but God. There is no one worthy of worship and or obedience but Allah. Allah is one and almighty. So that's basically
so the concept is that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the final prophet. So he came with the Quran to demonstrate how its teaching should be applied, right? And so he was a perfect example of an honest, just, merciful, compassionate, truthful, and brave human being, as was also Jesus. Also, and Muslims do not worship Muhammad. That's a common misconception as well. But I had.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
You're correct. We don't. We believe that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to earth and anointed or appointed to be the last of the prophets. He is the seal of all prophets. There will never ever be
seconds remaining.
There will never ever be another prophet. That's you? All right.
And there hasn't
go back in and I'll keep it explaining. There will be no other prophets.
Dad, do you have money on your zero? I think I might need to use your
I might need to use your zero. When you're done.
All right, I'm gonna call back right now.
All right. Just so those who are paying attention, though that he will be the last of the prophets. He was sent and revealed the Quran over a period of 23 years. There will be no other prophets after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And no, we do not worship him, but we praise him and we pass our peace and blessings upon him, just like all the other prophets, 125 prophets and more before our time, which a lot of Muslims do not know. Only scholars and Allahu Alam, which means Allah only knows best. But as far as that, I also want to say too, that in the Bible it says, I am the way, the truth, the beginning, the light, and so on. The Quran kind of resembles that in a way. In the Al-Fatiha, it is basically kind of resembles the Bible. You got in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, which would be Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, which means praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, most gracious, most merciful. And then it goes on to say Maliki Yawm Din, which is the master of day of judgment. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, which means thee do we worship and thy aid we seek. Adina Siratal Mustaqim, show us the straight way. Siratal Latina and Amta Lehim Gairil Makhdubi Alehim Warazolim. the way of those whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who do not go astray. It's got a resemblance to the Bible, but I'm still waiting on my brother to call back. I'll repeat that when he comes back on. But yeah, that is where we really draw the line. Is Muslims don't worship any of the prophets. Like Jesus, we believe that he was sent here to show the power of Allah, the power of God, Yahweh, or however you may believe. Healing of the sick, the deaf, the blind, the leper, bringing back the dead bird, to show the power of life and death. Things like that in that nature. But that is basically everything that he kind of was talking about. We don't go so much into the belief of Isa alayhi salam, which is peace and blessings be upon Jesus. We don't really go into too much of his mother. We recognize her, we send her blessings, and we recognize the fact that, yes, he was appointed the vessel to carry this prophet, this person, by God or Allah, Yahweh.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That again, that is pretty much where we draw our line as far as we recognize the mother of Jesus, but as far as like we don't worship her, we don't do none of that. We do give her the peace and blessings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her for allowing Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, to come into this world and try to show the right way. Outside of that, basically what my brother was saying, hello, as far as like anything else, commentary-wise to say on that, that's pretty much just a basic rundown of what we believe in. But hello, are you back?
Not yet. He's not back yet.
He hasn't called back in yet.
Oh, he's not? All right.
Tattoo's in there though.
Oh, Tattoo, how you doing?
Did I miss the memo? Did I miss the memo on the time?
Yeah, you did. We was yelling up at you for like a good 5 minutes. Like he was like
I was on headphones
5 or 9 o'clock.
10.
Yeah, no, we was yelling at you about.
10.
Yeah, Porsche started us like I think it was like 9:30. Shout out to Porsche Prophet for everybody that's listening. But yeah, we was waiting on you. We figured you would call about 9:30. But yeah, that's for everybody that's listening. That's basically the rundown of that. If anybody's got any questions or anything as far as that, y'all know how to get a hold of anybody that wants to.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I'm going to have to call back here in a minute.
I think that's you.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to have to call back in a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I missed the memo on the timeline. Was that?
Man, you
Thank you for
I
using
swear.
TTL.
Bruh,
What's up, bro?
what happened? 10 o'clock
Hey.
every night. 10 o'clock every night. What happened?
It's not 10 o'clock when WMVU's involved. It wasn't 10 o'clock last night. But we've been hollering for you since 9 o'clock. Been hollering at you since
I've been on
9 o'clock.
headphones. We went on it. Ask Portia what time we went on last night. I know it was 10 o'clock. That's why I thought we was back on 10. I was on headphones.
Hey, Chris, what time did we get on last night?
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That is accurate, 10, because we got off at like 10:55.
Yeah. Right.
No, that's not
I know what I'm
accurate.
talking about.
We started
That
at
is
10
100%
because we
accurate.
had 40 minutes. We had 40 minutes. So there wasn't any delays? There weren't any delays yesterday.
Yes,
You didn't
that's
sit and
true,
complain
too.
and make fun of Portia because the world stops? So why don't you
I know we didn't
take
start
a
at
second
10. We didn't
and
start
let's
until
remember, because we recorded
We didn't
for
start till after
50
10,
minutes
though.
and we got off the phone at 10:50. So for us to have 40 minutes of delays and also record for 50 minutes, that means that we would have had to have started when?
I know I called in at like 9:58 last night.
Everybody there now?
Pull up the recent calls.
It was after 10, I know that.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't, bro. It just wasn't. Like, it just wasn't.
Hey, just so everybody knows, I kept it going. I kept it going while he was off. I gave the basic rundown of the beginning part of the Surah Al-Fatiha, which basically connects to what you were saying.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's make sure that we're recording, bro. Let's make sure that we're recording. So we're going to do exactly what we talked about. Tattoo's running it. So
It's recording.
Oh, all right. So wait, did you ever get the time that we started yesterday? Did you ever come up with that, or did you want to revise
This call
your
is originating
incorrect?
from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
We're recording.
Did you want to? Right. So exactly. So since we're on the record, did you want to go ahead and fix your previous incorrect statement before we start, or no?
After I go back and
We started after 10, bro.
The 40 minutes. About the 40 minutes of delays that we had?
It was 10 o'clock.
Yeah, when I hung up last night, it was like 11:05. Me and Mom still had like 3 minutes left on the phone. I remember. Well, I thought we were back to 10.
Right, but what you're not understanding, bro, what you're failing to realize is like we had you don't remember the 40 minutes of delays, bro?
There was like 40
minutes worth of delays
where we ended up starting at actually 10 o'clock. But yeah.
Right, but we were on the phone because since we've been on WMVU
This call
has
is
been 9
originating
o'clock.
from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I'll make sure I edit out all of this comment.
Scheduling confusion. Scheduling confusion.
Right, so from now on, so we've got everybody on it. So Tattoo, Mama Carla, Dion, Dina, Dustin. As long as we're doing WMVU would like us at 9 o'clock.
Got it.
I heard earlier the better. So let's just start over. I got my intro right here. We'll run the intro, and she can lay this intro over top of she'll put it together. All right, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up with all my Akronites? Thank you for tuning in to the Red Zone right here on Akron's home for nonprofit radio, 96.3 WMVU.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
You're listening to Positive Transitioning Radio's Wesleyan Wednesdays, where we sit down and we have a cross-cultural debate discussing our beliefs, our faith, and we communicate as brothers from a place of loyalty, love, and respect for one another in our individual quest for knowledge. As you all know, I'm your host, LO, and once again, per listener request, sitting to my right and watching my back while I watch his, the one and only Tattoo, #1, big shout out, 5-star. And once again, returning to the Red Zone and making his 96.3 WMVU debut is our good friend, brother in faith, and Amir, overseeing the duties and responsibilities of guiding the less enlightened Muslim brothers here at TOCI, Ayub Abdul, affectionately known by me and me alone as Aki. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Aki.
Assalamu alaikum for those who are listening, and Lamta means thank you for being kind, and I am Ayub Abdul Tawab.
Tattoo.
What up, Red Zone? Y'all know me already. Tattoo, one and only right-hand man, Tetrapple Chief of the Red Zone. Much love, LO. You know, I'm just checking in. And just got to give a big shout out to the new listening family, 96.3 WMVU, Akron's finest nonprofit radio. And our merchandise will be on the website live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so listeners can look us up. Hope y'all enjoyed the show.
Oh, nice. Plug the merchandise. So why don't you take off, Tattoo? We'll let you, so Aki, go on mute. I'm going to go on mute. Tattoo, why don't you take off and just however you want to run it, bro. Pass the rock, however you know what I'm saying? You got any questions? You do your thing, say your thing, and yeah, I'm going on mute. Take off, bro.
All right, there's a lot of different, like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of different religions out there, some more popular than others, and I've studied a lot of different ones, and I'm still in the process of studying a few right now. But if I had to narrow it down, like I can't say I believe in one thing more than the other, but the one thing.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
But the one thing that I've observed personally myself over the years is the laws of karma. When you do bad things and you put bad energy out there, bad things are going to happen to you. Bad's going to come back to you. You put good things out there and you stay positive and try to build people up and lift them up, then good things are going to come your way. And, you know what I mean, if I'm wrong at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, then that's something I'm going to have to deal with my maker. But as it stands right now, just try to be good, do good, stay positive. What you think about that, Chief?
Yeah, I think that is so the Bible has that concept, right? The Bible refers to that concept as reaping what you sow, right? And so God gives us the concept when He gave us the instructions about how to live and how to, you know, actually like physically live, like actually produce what it takes in order to survive, right? So if you put a corn seed into the ground, you should never expect an apple tree to grow. And if you put an apple seed into the ground, you should never expect corn to grow, right? So exactly what you put in is exactly what you put out. So the amount of time that you spend cultivating, the amount of time that you spend pulling weeds, the amount of time that you spend investing in, right, carrying buckets of water out.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
The Egyptians were famous for the Nile River, right? Learning how to bring water and irrigation systems, and as a result, they flourished. They were one of the most dominant, incredible forces to be reckoned with across time because they were diligent in taking care of what they put into the ground, right? So what they put into the ground, they made sure that they reaped. So I know that the Quran also has a concept. So Aki, talk about the surahs that have to do with reaping what you sow. Go ahead.
All right. I'm back. All right. I can understand that. Now, like I was saying previously, earlier, the brother mentioned when he said it is and it is done, in a way, the Quran is kind of, I don't know the exact words used, but I'll just say similar, you know, like with the Al-Fatiha, the opening surah of the Quran. I will recite it again because I did it earlier while my brother was trying to call back in. For those who are Muslims, you already know what this means. I'm going to recite it in Arabic first. The brothers that are on right now, they're listening. I will recite it in English for you, Tattoo and LO, so that way you understand exactly what I'm saying. This is the Al-Fatiha, and it's pretty much in a way, like I said, again, is kind of similar to the Bible in the beginning. So please try to understand the best that you can.
What he's discussing, though, real quick, just for those who have their Qurans, it's Surah 64. So in mine, it's page 432, but it's the Al-Tagahaban, the mutual loss and gain, right? So it's the concept of the mutual loss and gain. So that's the actual Quran reference that's given. But go ahead, I can do what you were doing. I just wanted to give that because that was the question that was asked. So, but go ahead and do your.
That's what I'm. Right, I got you. I'll look that up here in a second. You know, like I was saying, the Al-Fatiha, which is the opening of the Quran. For those, like I said, that don't understand Arabic, I will read it in Arabic first, the proper way that it's supposed to be done, and then.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I will recite it in Arabic first, the way it is supposed to be done, and then I will recite it in English, the way it is transliteration and
you do it
meant. And
you do it in Arabic, and let me do it in English. I'll do it in English. You do it in Arabic.
All right, so it's the very first one, LO. It's the very first surah of the Quran.
I know about it.
بسم الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين Adina Serata Mustaqim Serata Latina and Umta Elehim Gaivil Nahdubi Elehim Wala Azalim. Go ahead, Elo.
So, let me know if I mess it up, but it's in the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful. Praise be to God, the sustainer, the sustainer of the world, the most gracious, most merciful. Oh, you know what? So we can just go. Praise be to God, the cherisher and the sustainer of the world, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. You do we worship, and your aid do we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, and those whose portion is not wrath, who do not go astray.
Alhamdulillah,
so that's 54. So that's 432. So let me get there.
I know what it's like. You look for it now. I'm gonna go to the same thing. 64.
Mutual loss and gain. So this is about so this is the concept,
what,
right? So
what verse are you going to? Make sure you let that be known too, bro.
I'm gonna try to find the I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Okay, so 17, so we're going to go chapter 64, Surah 64, verse 17. It says, if you loan to God a beautiful loan, he will double it to your credit, and he will grant you forgiveness, for God is most ready to appreciate service, the most forbearing. Knower of what is hidden and what is open, exalted in might.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So, I mean, that's basically saying...
You have 1 minute remaining.
He says if you loan him a beautiful loan, he'll double it to your credit. So that's, put one in, you get two back. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of overlap. You know what I mean? That's what we were kind of discussing a little bit earlier. Is like,
this call is
there's a lot of different things
Ohio
that
correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
But it's gonna hang me up. So you guys go ahead, and I'll be right back. I'll dub back.
Go ahead. I'll let Tattoo take over.
Go on mute, Tattoo. Take over, bro.
Call me Dustin.
Yeah, go ahead. Is it gonna accept your? Is it gonna accept?
Yeah.
Thank you for using GTL.
You want to take over, have any input, Tattoo? Come on out. Do you hear what I said, Tattoo? You got any input on that?
Yeah, I just had to unmute this real quick. Like, I think, I was taught when I was younger that if you don't understand something, to ask questions, and that until you understand something, you shouldn't speak on it. So until I can understand more in a clearer sense of what you're saying and what that means to you and to the Nation of Islam as a whole, I'm just going to keep my opinions and thoughts to myself for now, because I don't want to be disrespectful to another's beliefs or say the wrong thing. You feel me?
Well, let me comment on that, right? In Islam, there is no such thing as a stupid question, and anything that is weighing on your mind, you're to speak up and ask. That's part of Islam. That's one of our etiquettes. So don't feel that you're disrespecting nothing, because you're not. So ask whatever, or if you're curious, just ask me and I'll tell you. So go ahead, bro.
It's just in the little passage that he read, the similarities between the Quran and the Bible are almost exact. It's just worded slightly different. How do you place your beliefs in the Quran and Islam as being right, opposed to the beliefs of Christianity and the Bible?
Well, I'll tell you, and this is a very easy question to answer, because if you take the Bible and the Quran and no matter what revise or the Bible, what version, whether it be the New International King James Version or so on and so forth, if you open, let's say 100 different Bibles, it's going to say 100 different things. And it's already been scientifically proven that there have been words taken and put in place of added to the Bible and taken out and or twisted. In the Quran, since the Quran has been around 1,442 years now, every word, whether it be in English, Arabic, or Spanish or whatever, is exactly the same. Nothing has ever been added. Nothing has ever been taken out. And it's been scientifically proven over all these years. So
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That's how I would answer that question, and that is,
Unmuted.
that's how I can verify that. So,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Okay. So on a more personal level, it does. And so that leads me to my next question. On a more personal level, right? What was the defining moment in your life that made you decide that?
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
That this is what you wanted to decide to follow and believe?
I had you put it on my 721.
The answer to that question would be, I was born Christian, St. John Lutheran, and I realized that I felt lost. I felt out of place. I felt like it wasn't making no sense to me. So as I got locked up, I started studying multitudes of different religions. And I got more in depth with Islam through a few friends of mine that I met down in Mansfield, and you know them. It would be Shabazz, Waya, and Yaya that was down in Mansfield with us. They introduced me to the basics, the 5 pillars of Islam, and the more that I have studied, the more I understood, and I grasped the concept so much faster. I understood the foundation of the 5 pillars, and I was in a crossroads in my life where I felt lost, and then by studying Islam, I felt that was for me. And with all the chaos that I was living at that time, and you know what I'm talking about, with the wildness, young, didn't want to listen to nothing.
Right.
I felt that it saved me. I had a reality check, and I opened my eyes to the broader picture of life. And I don't like to say it too much, but I had got myself in a situation on a level that I will not speak of over the phone, but you already know where I'm going with this. And it kind of saved my life in a way. And I took a hold of it, and I never let it go.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And once I started applying it to my everyday life and allowing my actions to dictate what I was studying and learning, I applied that to my everyday movements, my reflection of what I was living, and I became so much better of a person. I can actually have an intellectual conversation now with people compared to what I could have 21 years ago. And I feel that Islam has changed me into a much better person. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Unmuted.
Yeah, because I've noticed you're not the same person that you were all those years ago. So yeah, that makes sense. That's deep, bro. Thanks for sharing that. I think I know that. And you there, Chief?
I'm going on mute, so speak up, talk, whatever.
You are unmuted.
Portia, is Ella not back yet?
Yeah, I think his thing messed up, so he hung up and he's calling.
Okay.
Yeah, I think his thing messed up, so he hung up and.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility
Well,
and may be recorded and monitored.
I'll just sit here and I'll talk with you then, tattoo, so.
Yeah, leave it the most important show of the week, and I'm late.
Right. We just had that problem with you. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. I didn't have bad luck. I wouldn't have no luck. I could have fully said 10.
Allahu Alam. Allah knows best,
Yeah,
bro.
we're
That's
we make
the only
mistakes.
thing I can say.
Or I'm just an idiot that was listening to music and got the time wrong. Either way.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. We all slip.
I think a lot of it comes like with what you were saying with your beliefs in Islam and how it changed your life and the way you move and you act. I think age comes with that too, maturity and just experiencing more and more life. You just get to a point where you want to be more laid back and chill and embrace life and what comes next and start building for that.
Right.
I get it.
Well, I mean, you like you said, we've known each other, what, 15 years, so.
Yeah, roundabout.
I mean, it'll take time for you to find your path in life and your road that you want to go down, bro. So, whatever questions or help you need, you know I got your back to the fullest, bro. Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah, good looking. I appreciate that.
You already know.
We'll hopefully get this study course in the mail soon. I'll be sent out for it months ago.
Yeah, I'm hoping you get it
I
this
hate
week
the
and
way
next.
social service moves so slow.
I'm glad you brought that up too.
Contribute a little bit more to the conversation.
Right, for the WMVU listeners on 96.3, please, and I mean please, take a look into the Tabor Foundation. It's a 4-year course. It teaches you everything you need to know about Islam and my way of life. So
You
please take a look into that.
Do something with your life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to start
and
studying
like I
too.
said,
You have 1 minute remaining.
My most popular, because that's mine.
That's yours? All right. I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, whatever tattoo you need to know or questions of, I'm here to help you. So.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be there as soon as the little questionnaire and then the books and stuff start showing up. I'm sure I'll be down there.
Right.
You'll get tired of seeing me eventually.
I never get tired of seeing you, bro. Your family
see you already. I'm tired of seeing you. I want to go home. I'm tired of seeing all you.
Right. I love you too, bro. I love you too. That's from the heart.
Yeah, right. All love, but prison is not a fun place to be. It sucks.
Right.
I guess that's what it was designed for, but yeah, it is what you make it.
Exactly.
This call
Your
is
family to me, bro. I can never
Ohio
get tired of hearing you.
facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Like I said, bro, your family to me, bro. I can never get tired of seeing you. But still wanted them call back in. If there's anybody out there that has any type of input or anything, you know, y'all know how to get a hold of Porce. Please, I'm willing to help anybody out there that's listening. I can answer any questions. If I can't, I can definitely tell you where to go to find it. You know, I got brothers in here that, you know, they're willing to accept new Muslims, you know, or believers of Islam. You ain't got to necessarily be a Muslim, but I don't send nobody away, whether you're a Muslim or.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I try to live the proper way of Islam, is to be a beacon of light to the way of this life. For those that are maybe skeptical or think that we're terrorists or some bad people, don't believe anything you see on the TV. I mean, Taliban and the ISIS, yes, that is 100% true. They are not real full-hearted believers. They are bad people, but that is not what Islam is about. So please, if there's anybody out there that has any questions or interested, please find the nearest mosque, wherever your city is. The nearest ones would be Cincinnati, Perrysburg here in Toledo, Imam Ibrahim in Toledo Mosque Center, and Cleveland's got a few of them. So please reach out if you are curious. Don't be one of them that go to sleep and wake up and say, well, what if? Or don't be a statistic, Just don't be afraid to dive in and ask questions. You can't never learn nothing in life if you guys out there don't apply yourself and be willing to learn something. So always know that, there's all good people. Not everybody's locked up that's bad, no matter what that you may have heard, read, or seen. Allow their heart and actions to speak for them, because that and here to us is what shows us what a person's really about and what they're really the type of person and character that they are. Let your curiosity flow or fly like a kite. The sky's the limit. You can never learn. All right. Hello, good to hear you back. I've been taking over till Tattoo call back in, but as I was saying, allow your curiosity to fly high as a kite. If you can't apply yourself to learn, one falls for something, you'll fall for anything. So don't be another one of them statistics. Please, people out there, apply yourself to learn more about your religion, about faith in general. And like I said, I try to be a good Muslim, even to my brothers in here that are non-Muslims, like a Tattoo, LO, that I want to teach them the right way so I can receive my blessings and go to the garden in paradise. So, LO, I hear you back. We're waiting on Tattoo to come back in, so step on out. And
I'm here.
I'm here. You have any questions?
I was just making sure waiting for you to pass me the rock, bro. We passed the rock. Keep it, because bro, when there's more than one person that tries to talk, dude, it's just unbelievable. So.
Yeah, it's just me and you right now. But I'll go on mute.
We have rules
right now if you want me to. Right, I'm gonna go on mute. You got any input on anything?
No, we're doing great.
All right. I just want to make sure.
I want to make sure Tattoo gets to do his thing, bro.
Yeah, your approval means a lot to me, bro. So.
Well, we gotta make sure. Well, I want Tattoo to be happy. So that's what.
He is. Trust me. I was just holding it down till one of y'all came back in. She said the phone was messing up. So
between me and you and the hole in the wall, nobody else is gonna tell the fucking truth. Yesterday we started at 9:30. The day before that we started at 9 o'clock. Since we've been on WNVU, it's been 9 o'clock because I have plans.
He's on his way. They're gonna call back in.
Saying I was done. I was just letting it be known, like.
But.
Accountability for my brother.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, that's me. I'm about to call back in.
Bounce back.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and hang up. I'm going to call back in, so take over, bro. I'll be right back.
Yep.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
All right, he's in.
Thank you for using GTL.
Right hand man is back in the house.
Phone nice. We're waiting on Hockey, so it's just you, bro. Go ahead.
What were you guys talking about?
Talk to me.
What were you guys talking about?
We were in we were on another. It was like some. Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. The leftover notes from last week. We were going over some of the more, like thicker, like the meat and potatoes, like getting down to like the nitty gritty, like real, you know what I mean? Like the heavy stuff, like the stuff that's like, which we're just getting to it. Cause I've been in here with like, I mean, you know how I've been in here.
Which is why I was saying to him,
like
right. Which is what I was telling him while you were
not to do that, bro.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I'm waiting on these study guides now so I can contribute more to the conversation and be more knowledgeable about it.
Well, no, that's what I said, bro. We weren't like, him and I do that when it's him and I. That's different. You're here now, so we want to hear what you have to say. It's not that we're
right,
like,
and
I wanted you to run it. I wanted you to run like.
I just feel like until I have a better, more full, complete understanding of what's being talked about, that it would be best to just offer little opinions here and there and let you guys run it until I'm more knowledgeable.
Well, no, I want you to ask, bro, because the knowledge is here.
Well, I mean, I did.
I asked
a couple of questions. I want to study. I want to see this stuff for myself. You know what I mean? I want to learn personally.
Right. I mean, I got you a Bible, baby. What else you want me to do?
And I've been into that, but
I don't know if I would really give you a Quran because you gotta be able, like, you gotta have a baseline. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be able to, like, before you go, like, because like me, right? So I have to like prepare myself, like emotionally, spiritually, physically before I even go near it, because if you're not careful, bro, like if you're not diligent in the defense of your heart and in the defense of your mind, like, I mean, it'll take over, like it'll start, you know what I mean? So you got to just be you got to be rooted. You got to have strong roots like a palm tree, right? The reason palm trees don't blow over in tsunamis and storms is because as tall as they are is how deep their roots go, right? And so, reading the Quran is like putting my tree through a windstorm.
And may be recorded and monitored.
Reading the Quran is like putting my tree through a windstorm, right? And so, my Christian tree takes my Christian tree and puts it through a tsunami, right? A religious tsunami of just all a big whirlwind of, I'm sorry.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
A whirlwind. It's like putting my spiritual Christian tree through a whirlwind of, confusion. And so you just have to be, so I would, kind of try to figure out, like get you a baseline, figure out, some concepts, some core concepts, some core beliefs, and figure out where they line up. And then go ahead.
Listen, bro, it's not that I don't know or wasn't raised with that, because my mom was Catholic. Like, we were raised knowing the Catholic faith, so it's not like I don't know about it. It's just that of all the things that I've studied and looked into and read about as far as religion and organized religion and the belief systems and whatnot, I have trouble swallowing so much of it as truth. And I'm one of them guys where, like, you guys told me. And yeah, and so like, it's just the more I've seen of life, and maybe it was just my life or the way I looked at it, but the more I've seen of it, I just had so much trouble swallowing a lot of the aspects of it. So, but the one thing, like I said, that I did see was when I did good happened, and when I did bad came back. So I can build the principle and the foundation off of that.
Right. And you see what I'm saying, how that's in both books? That's in both books.
Right.
See what I mean? So you got to take it, you got to go one step further now, right? Like, you're, all right, so we did that. Okay, so now, like, you're on the right track because it's in both, right? So if you can just start knocking out the things that are in both, you're definitely not wrong, right? You could never be wrong if you're doing something that's in both. You know what I mean? Because there's certain concepts, there's certain things, there's certain, like, it overlaps, bro, a lot. And the more time that you spend with both of them, the more that you see, like, clearly there is a right and a wrong way, right? So like Christians believe Jesus did it the perfect right way. Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he did it the right, perfect, just, and merciful way.
Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And so, you know, and that's where, and so that's where it's kind of like,
Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
So, and then that's when you start, so that's when you start getting into like the deeper, like having to like pick a side, you know what I mean? Like, and it'll take you a while before you get there, but when the time does come and you do start to see the differences and you find them on your own, you'll be able to make that. You'll hopefully have enough of a foundation and enough of a understanding to be able to.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Unequivocally, without question,
hopefully you're
hands
right.
down. Stay.
Hopefully you're right, and that understanding will come with time. But judging by the last 37 years of my life, I'd mess around and pick a side and it'd be the wrong one. Oh man,
Have I ever led you astray?
Ain't never no wrong side.
Cool.
Only God knows what side's right, bro.
It was more of a joke to lighten the mood than a right.
I know, but I'm just saying that's something to think about, bro. Like the reason that I so diligently pursued the Quran and pursued understanding with the Quran is because I want to know for you. Like I'm going to get the information for you, so I can come to you and I can be like, listen, bro, I'm chief, bro. I'm the big homie, bro. I'm head of this family, head of this table, bro. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. You ain't got to go through what I mean. You can. Here's the information. Here's exactly what I found. Here's where I found it. Here's what it says. Here's how it goes. This is what this says. This is what this says. And based on what I know, what I understand, this is what you know what I'm saying? Because I'll take my Bible, bro, and I'll put my Bible up against any book on this planet, hands down, and not doubt it one bit that the house, the farm, and the dog every trip, period. But that's because I've spent my entire life with it. I've spent my entire life understanding it, believing in it, because faith is the evidence of things unseen, right? So the concept of faith, right, goes against everything that we as humans understand to be, right? Because it's things that we don't see, things that we cannot fathom, things that we cannot understand, and yet we're able to believe it with our whole heart, 100%, unequivocally, without question. Yes. So, but I want to make sure, bro. I want to make sure that because I don't want to be responsible. Because at this point, bro, I look at it as I'm responsible for all of you guys. All of the homies, bro. All of the homies that listen to what I say when I speak, bro. I'm responsible for all of you guys. And so I don't take that responsibility lightly. I don't look at that as like a joke. I don't look at it as because I've earned it, right? In order to lead, you must first learn how to follow. And I've followed for a long time.
Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And now God's blessed me with the opportunity to take on that.
Was that his phone that hung up, LO?
Had to be. It had to be if me and you were still talking.
Right. I didn't know who it was, if it was his. Go ahead.
No, you hear me. You hear me. WMD hears me, so that's all. But that's why but you knew that already. You knew that's why I'm learning Aramaic. That's why I want to know the language that Jesus spoke, right? Because it's the way that what the Bible says, right? What my book says. My book says that he spoke Aramaic. My book says that was the language of the time. Regardless.
And that was
like, so I wanted to get into like more of the, like the gifts and the giving of gifts but that's, we can do that next week. But like I wanted to discuss the Trinity because to us, right, to Christians, the way that the Trinity works, right? Because Allah is all-knowing, all-powerful, right? Allah knows all, sees all, is all, right? Makes no mistakes, cannot undo, redo.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
And my God is the same way, right? The I am, Exodus 3:16 is the same, right? He does not give back, and you are responsible for what you do with the gift that he gives you, right? You have to answer for that. Right? So as humanity, right, humanity in our brokenness, Pontius Pilate crucified Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean that he went back to heaven and stayed in heaven, right? Jesus Christ was a gift to the world, right? Like that was a gift. He was given to us as a gift, and so he could never leave because it was a gift given to us. It's just he has simply changed forms because of the decisions that we made, right? We in our broken flesh have made the decision to kill his flesh. And so then his spirit could not leave because it was a gift to all humanity. It was a gift given to all humanity in his perfectness, in his holiness, in his blameless life. So that in and of itself is how he was able to inhabit all of the earth and all of the people by accepting him, because the Bible says that there is no way to the Father but through me, right? So if you can't handle and accept the responsibility or the belief or have the faith in what happened on Easter Sunday, right, on the third day, he went into that tomb on Friday dead, walked out Sunday, completely healed and in one piece.
Right.
So, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing. That's it. Period. And so now he dwells among us, and that is how we're able to say the Father, the Son, right, which is his 33 years of life, because that in and of itself is a blessing, because he was hungry, he was tired, he was sore, had blisters, right? He was a carpenter. He slammed his thumb with a hammer, right? I'm sure. Absolutely stubbed his toe, like that one kind of stub, like stubbed his toe. And yet still lived a perfect, blameless life. So that in and of itself is a gift, right? He gave us the gift of a walking, talking, breathing, bleeding example of how to live, right? How to live, how to pray. He did miracles. He performed all of these amazing things. That in and of itself is a gift. So that's the Son, right? And then as a result, like the final piece or the final puzzle piece of the Son's flesh is his spirit. So the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And that's how we come to the Trinity. And that's, in a nutshell, for the most, like, if I could ever say, like, brief or quickly or whatever, but... And the Quran is close, bro. Like that's.
This call is
so here's what
Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
There's so many similarities with the Quran.
Right. The Quran confirms Maryam. The Quran describes the birth of Jesus as follows. Remember when the angel said, "Oh Mary, God gives you." This is the Archangel Gabriel. "Oh Mary, God gives you good news of a word from him, whose name is the Messiah, Jesus, Son of Mary, revered in this world and the hereafter, and one of those brought near to God. He will speak to the people from his cradle, and as a man, and he is of the righteous." She said, "My Lord, how can I have a child when no mortal has touched me?" He said, "So it will be. God creates what he wills. If he decrees a thing, he says it, and only be, and it is." That's Surah chapter 3, verse 45 through 47. So Jesus was miraculously born by the command of God. He spoke it, right? And that same command that brought Adam to life brought Jesus into the womb of Mary. And in the case of Jesus with God, it's like the case of Adam. He created him from dust, and then he said to him, "Be," and he came into being. Quran Surah 359. During his prophetic mission, Jesus performed many miracles. God tells us that Jesus.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. I make for you the shape of a bird out of clay. I breathe into it and it becomes a bird by God's permission. I heal the blind from birth and the leper, and I bring the dead to life by God's permission. And I tell you what you eat and what you store in your houses. That's the Quran 349, Surah 3, verse 49. Muslims believe that Jesus was not crucified. It was the plan of Jesus' enemies to crucify him, but God saved him and raised him up to him. And the likeness of Jesus was put over another man. Jesus' enemies took this man and crucified him, thinking that he was Jesus. And they said, "We killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of God." They did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but the likeness of him was put on another man, and they killed that man. That's the Quran, Surah 4, 157. And we already talked about this. We don't have to get back into it, but it was curious to me, right? With
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Wamakaru, Wamakaralahahu, Kariru, Makarina, right? The unbelievers plotted and planned, and Allah too planned, and Allah is the best of planners, right?
Alhamdulillah.
So Allah being the best, Allah, peace be upon him, Allah being the best planner, how is it that Allah didn't plan for or know that Pontius Pilate was going to kill Jesus, right? Because in Christianity, right, the God of Moses, the I Am, sent Jesus with the specific purpose of coming to earth to die, right, to carry us from the Old Testament into the New Testament, right? That is the last blood sacrifice to ever be spilled on behalf of humanity, right? So why wouldn't Allah, the great and noble planner, be able to? Why didn't he have that? Why did it have to be like a thief in the night? Why did it have to be like? Why did there have to be like an identity theft? Why did there have to be the likeness put on to another man and to because why would the other man, right, the likeness say that it is finished? Why would you see what I'm saying? What is finished? What are you talking about? You don't even know. Jeff? What are you talking about, Jeff? Like, why you have a beard? You didn't have a beard yesterday.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I
understand.
It's just so and that's, but I mean, I feel like that's revealed, and that's from the due diligence of because I mean, that's exactly that. So there's nothing else to say. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in my walk. That's where I'm at in my faith. That's what this has all brought me to. This has all brought me to because the Exodus 3:16, the I am who I am, knew what was going on, had it in mind the whole time. Took him for a 40-day fast. And he said, if there is any other way, but not my will, yours.
Right. That all being said, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you, but no, with all that being said and everything that I've taught you, so the people out there listening, what is your honest opinion now of Islam? How do you perceive it? Like, what do you, are you comfortable with it? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, absolutely. I am, well, one, I'm like, I feel educated, right? Like, I feel comfortable, like, I recognize it, right? I can understand it. I recognize truth is truth, right? Truth is truth. Like what's the real is real, right? And so when they start talking about, the Quran starts talking about the genealogy, right? And they go back and they start saying names like Joseph, Noah, Jacob, Esau, Isaac, like, you know what I mean? Like these are all people that are fundamental, like the world would not be without their specific involvement, right? And so my book says, your book says, okay? My book says your book, we go all the way, boom, mine, yours, mine, we go all the way. And I keep coming back to, because see, okay, so this is where we were, right, okay, so my first thought after reading verses 1 through 13, right? My first thought was that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So a petty high school style, I don't like them because they scoffed at me, beef, right? So they had beef. It led to Sarah approaching Abraham and giving him an ultimatum.
This call is originating from an Ohio correctional facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Which really wasn't even an ultimatum, because an ultimatum requires a choice with respective outcomes. She played the wife card and instructed Abraham to cast out his child Ishmael and his mother for no other reason than she didn't want him, Ishmael, to be equal to her son Isaac, even though as a direct descendant of Abraham in the eyes of God, he absolutely was. And so therefore, as a direct descendant of Abraham, God protected him, right? The I am, Exodus 3:16, provided a way, right? 7 trips around when you go to Mecca, right? The 7 trips around for what? The 7 trips are around in order to signify Sarah's journey through the wilderness.
Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
7 trips around to signify Sarah's journey through the wilderness, right? And God providing, right? So you ask Allah for what you want through the 7 trips because that's exactly what she did, right? And so God protected them. And so let's take a step back and let's bring these humans down, right? These are human people, right? These are human emotions. They bleed, they sneeze, they have sex, they hang out, they kick it, they sew, right? They wear sandals, right? So let's bring them down a couple notches and think about them in the context of regular people, because unfortunately this is more common than we care to admit, right? So the wife is rude to the baby's mom, right? And that causes friction. So then how does the baby mom respond? More specifically, what sort of things or seeds, right, is she going to sow into the fertile soil of her son's heart, right? What kind of things do you think an upset baby's mom would say about the wife's kids, or the kids, right? Hate runs deep, right? The Hatfields and the McCoys, right? So if we take our understanding of the Hatfields and McCoys and we apply it to Sarah and Rebecca, look where we're at.
Exactly. Because there was so much more than anybody else has. Right.
There was so much more that she knew she couldn't say there's more than one God. You could not say there's any more than one God above him. She knew that you had to pray. She knew that you had to, you see what I'm saying? She knew all of these things that she could not waver from, because she didn't want her son to go to hell. No matter how petty, no matter how mad, no matter how weak and weak-minded and all in between, she couldn't she didn't want him to go to hell. She didn't want him to go, so she had to tiptoe that edge, walk right up to that edge to be able to say, like, so.
Right. Just so you know, we got like 3 minutes left, bro.
Yeah, we're out of here. So we're closing up. We're done. We're out of here. I guess our time together is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed your all access pass to our Red Zone Library, WMVU. We love you, 96 points.
You have 1 minute remaining.
As always, big shout outs to my day one Porsche Prophet for having the vision, and our Positive Transition family for making it happen. We shatter glass ceilings just because Gandhi said to be the change you want to see in the world. Here at Positive Transitions, we wake up and don't just talk about it, we be about it. Follow us on Instagram at Positive Transitioning, and follow me at TheRealLO, TheRealLEL_O. Make sure you check out our merchandise. We need as much feedback as we can get. If you loved it, tell us, hated it, tell us, want to help, tell somebody about us. Click subscribe, and remember, birds of a feather flock together. That little blue square, got the big B, stands for donate. Donate, help us out. We need as much help as we can get. We got merchandise for sale. Buy it, help us out, donate to the show. We love you guys. WMVU 96.3. It's Wesleyan Wednesday. We're out. Peace.
Good
Thank
night.
you for using
I love you.
ETL.
Thanks again, Portia. Have a good night. Appreciate everything you guys do for us. Have a good night, everybody. Portia, you
Good
too.
night.
Thank you very much for everything you do. Thanks for everything you do, Portia. We appreciate it.
Of course.
I'll talk to you next week.
Good night.
Yep, you too. Don't do that I wouldn't do, because like my imam tells me, if you do, you're on your own.
Right.
Right.
Good night.
Hey, before I forget too, make sure you let LO know exactly when you need that Facebook information to do all that, all right?
Okay, will do.
All right, good night, young lady.
Good night.
All right, bye.
Bye.